Hi, my name is Sio Moon, editor of Subtle, subtlenews.com. You're here today for the Subtle Energy Conference 2024. Today's session is Unforgiveness and the Ripple Effect. It is a continuation of a previous session called Forgiveness Through the CBT Lens, which was a Q&A between myself and psychologist Mariana Ceballos Delgado. So with that, let's get started. So as I mentioned, today's session is Unforgiveness and the Ripple Effect. And I'd like to look at forgiveness and unforgiveness through two different lenses, really the individual lens and the wider scale of humanity and the earth, the world as a whole. So when I think about world peace, I often think about the elements involved in achieving that. One of those elements is empathy. Another is compassion. These are two elements we learn about, we discover, and we experience in life. The Planetary Meditation for Peace by Master Chokuksui, which is included on subtlenews.com, can also help us build our sense of love and compassion, of empathy and mercy and forgiveness for others, as can other types of practices. In this case, empathy and compassion, or love and compassion, are ingredients that help promote forgiveness. And forgiveness helps build that long-term sense of inner peace within ourselves. Forgiveness is a key element to world peace, because the question is, how can the world reach a state of love and peace if our own world, so the world within ourselves, can't achieve such a state? Are we reflecting, what we feel inside ourselves? Is the world a reflection of our inner state on a global scale? And if on a global scale we begin to have that inner peace, if we could, one by one, the world will begin to reflect the love and peace we feel inside ourselves, and perhaps would achieve world peace. But back to the individual, or down to the individual level, how important is it to forgive? Well, we know from the Subtle Energy Conference 2024 session, Forgiveness Through the CBT Lens, which I previously mentioned, that the inability to forgive can manifest in various ways and have tangible effects on our physical well-being, as well as our emotions and our mental well-being, right? So for example, Mariana Ceballos Delgado said, chronic stress as a result of holding on to negative emotions can contribute to elevated blood pressure, heart problems, and a weakened immune system. The inability to forgive can also disrupt our stress hormone levels, particularly cortisol. So I'm just echoing what she had previously said. And elevated cortisol levels in this context can compromise our immune system's ability to function properly, which means we become more vulnerable to sickness. On the emotional and mental level, we know that harboring negative feelings, such as resentment, anger, bitterness, even a need for revenge, that can affect a person's overall mood and outlook on life. It can eventually lead, if not dealt with, to feelings of isolation and loneliness, right? How does unforgiveness affect us on the subtle levels? Well, imagine for a moment that you're thinking about someone whom you're not ready to forgive. And maybe you're thinking about certain comments they made in the past. Maybe the memory of those comments, it's firing up all sorts of negative thoughts that's now filling your mind, and it's permeating, your entire being. So those negative thoughts are now building on the subtle energy level. And as they build, this unbeneficial energy can eventually make its way into what is known as the chakras. The chakras are considered by some esoteric authors to be the etheric counterparts of the glands in the physical body, which is also known as the endocrine system. They're also considered by certain esoteric authors to be more than just that they can connect to particular systems in the body as well. But because the chakras have both physiological and psychological functions, an unhealthy chakra can impact the associated glands and or systems and result in physical illness or psychological problems. So here I've created two illustrations, one to show you some of the chakras in the body on my left-hand side, and on my right-hand side, showing you some of the glands in the endocrine system. Okay, we're obviously missing some of the major chakras like the crown energy center, along with other minor chakras, and of course we're missing some of the glands. But this is just to give you an idea of the connection between the two. So what impacts the chakras will impact the associated glands and or systems. There is often a ripple effect that spreads to the other chakras, that spreads to other chakras, and therefore the glands and systems in the body. So if something's going on with one chakra, it could have a ripple effect that spreads to certain other chakras. And considering each chakra, has its own connection to a particular gland and or system in the body, well, if it's not working properly, that system or gland may not be working as well. And if that chakra has a ripple effect spreading to other chakras, well, whatever systems or glands those chakras are managing, they will be affected too. Okay, so as an example, the physiological function of the solar plexus chakra is to control and energize the diaphragm, which is part of the respiratory system, the pancreas, which is part of the digestive and endocrine system, and the liver and stomach, which is part of the gastrointestinal system. If the solar plexus chakra is not functioning properly, then the parts it controls and energizes will also be negatively affected, such as breathing patterns and digestive issues, which is exactly what Mariana Ceballos Delgado had mentioned. So I am proposing a forgiveness practice. If you're interested, please stick around and we'll do it right now. And you can see how you feel. There is an invocation, much like the planetary meditation for peace. So please feel free to change the wording or names around to fit or adjust it to fit your particular religious or cultural background. All right. So we'll just get started. So as a reminder, forgiveness does not mean that you condone the actions or words of the person who has hurt you. It just means that you're ready to let go of the past. So my question for you is, are you ready? Okay, so let's start. We can put our hands up, close our eyes or keep them open, whatever you're more comfortable with. To the universal supreme being, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, and great, great ones, and to the many beings of light, love, and mercy. We humbly invoke for the inner strength to forgive and to let go of the past. With thanks and in full faith, we thank you. Okay, so now I would recommend that you close your eyes and you visualize a soft pink light glowing in the center of your chest. It is beautiful. It is growing in brightness. In your mind, repeat the following words. My heart is a ball of soft pink light. The light is filling my entire being. My being is filled with love and light. Now breathe in this light and let it spread throughout your entire body. Then visualize a miniature version of the person whom you'd like to forgive in front of you. Imagine they're surrounded by light. You may press the back of your hand against the center of your chest like so, or put it in prayer position. And quietly, or in your mind, say, I forgive you. I forgive you for hurting me. I release you from the bonds of this incident. I bless you with patience, tolerance, and honesty, with loving kindness in thoughts, in words, and in deeds, with goodwill, happiness, and inner forgiveness. You are completely forgiven. Peace be with me, and peace be with you. Now, inhale slowly through your nose. Hold for a moment. Exhale slowly through your nose. Hold for a moment. Again, inhale slowly. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. One last time. Inhale slowly. Hold. Exhale slowly. Hold. When done, imagine that the person is now walking away. And now you can take a deep breath. Just let go. We'll do a closing invocation. To the Universal Supreme Being, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, and great ones, and to the many beings of light, love, and mercy, we thank you all for your great and priceless blessings. Thank you. Okay. So I'll leave you with one last thing. A quote from Mariana Semballos Delgado, which is, making the choice to forgive means not only confronting feelings of anger, resentment, and betrayal, it also means actively choosing to release these emotions. So, to let go. An audio version of this forgiveness exercise will be included on subtlenews.com if you like to practice it. You can practice it every day if you need, with whoever you need to forgive. And you can let us know on our Facebook page if you feel better or how you feel after a certain period of time. So with that, thank you very much for joining us for this session. And again, if you have any questions, comments, you can leave them on our Facebook page, subtlenews.com, and we'll be happy to look them over and answer any questions we can.